This video begins by showing my species out in the wild, where it's a side blotch lizard, and I only found small lizards in this area. I couldn't find any adult lizards, which led me to believe that the large lizards maybe come to this area and drop their eggs and then go back to the urbanized areas for easier, larger prey, since they have the filtration or the irrigation systems to feed off. And it led me to the first level of analysis from Tim Bergens, and this focuses more on function or adaptation. And my hypothesis is these lizards have adapted to urbanized neighborhoods, which changes their behavior compared to the way they behave in the bare desert. And there was a study done on a different type of lizard, the garden skinks, and these lizards spent more time in bare surfaces farther from refuge than lizards in the wild. They also found the approach distance was greater in urban areas, which means they let the observer get closer than they did in the wild. And this study was done by Prosser in 2006. The second level of analysis is focused more on phylogeny or evolution. And when I first noticed the lizards doing push-ups, I thought maybe this was the result of imprinting, and it was learned by the behavior of their parents. But then I realized that the species isn't really raised by their parents. They're just dropped, and the parents go away and get more resources and just have more eggs later, so they can have multiple clutches in each season. And the second part of this, or the second level, I found the study which supported my hypothesis, which was done by Ferguson in 1971, and they believed that these modifications were primitive and they've evolved over the last 12,000 years. And they believe that it's actually the action is done for interspecific aggression or mating, which is the exact hypothesis I was thinking as well. And the third level of analysis focuses on mechanisms or causation. The first thing that comes to mind is hormones to me, and I hypothesize that depending upon the level of stress in the environment, it would affect their clutch size or their egg size. And there was a study done on the same exact species where they manipulated the hormone levels and they administered FSH, and they found exactly that when they gave more hormones, that they produced larger eggs. And this is a study done by Cervino in 1991. The fourth and final analysis centers on ontogeny or development, and I didn't find any studies that supported my hypothesis, which was that the side blotch lizards learned to hide from bird calls and ignore other sounds from other animals. But I did find a study that shows that it doesn't matter the size of the lizard as they get bigger. Well, at first, when they're younger, it depends on their size, but as they get older, it actually depends on the color of their throat. And this brings me just to the terms that my species are about here, and oviparous is the first thing that comes to mind because they're egg-laying species, and they are more focused on quantity rather than quality. The final study was done by Kalsbeck in 2002.